Hello and welcome to our tutorial on how to create a post in WordPress 3.0. My name is Cherie Pearson of PearsonCommunications.com, and I'm here to show you just the basic function of how to create a post in a WordPress site or blog. Okay, so we're starting out on the dashboard screen. This is the screen that you're going to see as soon as you log in to your WordPress account. And so we're here at the dashboard and we want to open up a new post. So we would just simply go to posts over here on the left and we're going to click on add new. And so for this particular post, it's going to be an article, I've decided, and the title of the article is all about the willow tree. So I've entered the title in this top section, and I'll just walk you through step by step on exactly how to do this. There are two different views for your editor. This section here is what would be called your content editor. And what you want to do is, first of all, click that button to expand so you have all of the options. And really building your content for any particular post is very similar to writing an email, or if you're familiar with using Microsoft Word or other programs like that for word processing. Now, you'll notice that there's another tab here. In addition to the visual editor, you also have an HTML editor, and where you can put the HTML code. This section will automatically be populated if you enter information into the visual editor side of things, and I'll show you what I mean right now. So I've already got my content that I want to add, and so I've copied that from my notepad. If you are using Word or just a text editor, you can click on the Word button, and then this pop-up comes up, and you click on Control V at the same time, and it'll automatically paste your text from Microsoft Word. Or if you are using just a regular text editor like I did in this situation, I can click on the text button, and I'm clicking on Control V or Command V if you're using a Mac, and it just entered all of the information right there for me. So one thing I noticed as it entered the information is that I don't have any line breaks or anything like that. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel this, and I'm going to select it as if I'm entering it from Word. And again, you'll get the same result if you don't have any particular type of formatting already built in. Okay, so I'm going to cancel that. In my case, I'm just going to go ahead with the visual editor, click on Command V, and paste in the information that I have. Now the first thing you want to do if you have a copy and paste situation is go ahead and separate your paragraphs, which I've done here, so that the paragraphs will all be separated properly and you get the best appearance for your particular article. So I'm just clicking through and separating my paragraphs. If you used Word or other types of word processing programs, then this formatting is already done. In my case, I didn't use that, so I'm just clicking through in order to separate these paragraphs. And I also have headings in there too, and I'll show you how to fix that so that they'll stand out appropriately in your article. So now that I'm just about to the end, I've got two more paragraphs to correct. Now we can go through and add the formatting for our headings. If you want to see this in a larger format, you can click this toggle button here, and it'll go to a full screen type of mode for you. And in a lot of cases when you're editing, it's very helpful to have that. So I've got these subheadings here, and maybe I want to make those bold. I could also change the size if I wanted to by going to this section here and selecting if I wanted it to be a heading. And in fact, I think in this case that's what we'll do. So I'm making these headings, and I just went back to the first one to go ahead, and we're selecting heading number 2 for it. And I'll keep going. Oh, and in the first case we made it bold, so we can just take that bold off because the heading makes it larger anyway. And we'll keep on going down until we get all of our headings properly formatted. And again, you won't have to go through these steps, but I wanted to show you how to do it manually in case you are actually creating your post directly in this editor. There are a couple reasons why I would make sure that I wasn't creating the post directly in the editor. One is that if something happens with your browser, you lose your connection or you go to save it and there's an issue, then you wind up with a situation where you've lost your information. So I find that it's always best to write whatever information I want to transfer to my site into another document, save that, and then copy and paste it from that document. So now that I've done that, I'm going to go back to my regular view by toggling that blue square there, and now we're back to our regular view. So I see what it looks like visually, and it looks okay. I realize now as I look at it, and you can always go back in and tweak anything, that there may be the gaps may be too big right before the heading. So all I'm doing is just going back and checking those gaps and making sure that I fix that so that it'll look right once we get it formatted. So the next step, and this is one of, I think, the most important things about having any type of article, is you want to have some type of visual appeal. That means that you want to have an image of some sort, or a video, whatever, but an image will usually do in this particular article or anything you're posting, because nobody wants to open up a site or page and look at just an entire page full of text. So what I've done is I'm going to go and find images, and if you don't know where to find images on the web, see our tutorial on how to find free images for your WordPress 3.0 blog or website. And really, you can use these images on any type of site that you have, and they're free to use. You just have to credit the author, or the photographer actually. Okay, so we're ready now to add our image so that we have some visual interest for this particular article. I've already gone ahead and downloaded the image that I want to my website. So in order to add an image, all you do is click this little icon here that says Add Image. And it'll give us a few different options on adding the image. Now we can add from a URL, or if we've already got the image in our media library, we could do that. But in this case, I don't. I just have the image saved on my desktop. So I want to click select files. I'm going to click on desktop, and then here's my image of the willow tree. And so I've selected that. It's uploading the image for me right now. If there's any difficulty that you have in uploading an image, you can click on the browser uploader, and that's a more basic type of uploading for your image. So now that the image upload is done, the image name sometimes is saved differently. So in our case, I just want this to be willow tree. So I'm going to enter willow tree, if I can spell, into this. And then if you want to enter a description, you can do that. Having a description for your images helps to, with the search engine, your images will then start to come up in Google if you search for images and things like that. So that's good, because it'll drive people to your page and your site. So in this case, I'm just going to put willow tree. Again, you can make it more detailed if you wanted to. And then it gives a link URL. This is the link, the direct link to that image now where it's going to be saved, and that'll be wherever you have your images normally saved on your particular server, or in your setup. Now here are the other options we have for our image. We want to either have no alignment. We can align it left, center, or right. One thing you should know is that the first thing that people, at least English reading and speaking people, will do when they look at a page is they're going to look to the top left-hand corner. So if you have an image there, that's great if the image is more important than the content. But if you want them to focus on the content, it's better to put the image on the right side. So in this case, I'm going to put the image on the right. We can choose which size we want the image to be. In our case, I think we'll be fine with the medium image size, and we can go ahead and save all of our changes. Or actually, we're not going to save our changes. We're going to insert it into the post. So that's what I'm doing right now. Insert into post, and voila, we see we have our image on the left, the right, as we wanted it, and it's in our post. Now, if I decide, hey, maybe I want this image to be a little bit bigger than what it is, I can always click on the image, go back to edit image, and here I have a few options. So In this case, we can change to make the image smaller if we want. If we wanted to make it bigger, we could. The other thing that I wanted to point out is that if you want to put in an image caption or alternate text for the image, you can do so in here. And so we're again going to make our alternate text. That's in case the image does not load. People will see the word willow tree. Okay, and then your image caption, this is you always should give, unless it's your own photo, you should always give some type of credit to the photographer. And in the case of the free images that people use on the web, that is usually a condition of the terms of use, is that you give credit to the person who took the image. Okay, so I'll go ahead and do that, and we'll say photo credit, and then I have the person who took the photo, I have her name. Okay, so now that that's done, we're going to go ahead and update it, and now we see this wonderful image, and it's got a frame with photo credit as Kim Perry, who is the person who took the image. All right, so now we want to take a look at different categories, because that's something else you'll have to set up. So in our case, if you don't put a category for a particular post, it's going to just go automatically into uncategorized. It's better to have a category. In our case, we don't have any new ones, so we'll add a category called trees, since that seems to be our theme. Add new category, it's automatically now in the trees category. Again, you can add tags as well, and let's just say our tag for this one is willow tree, and I'm adding that, so willow tree is now a tag. You can also set a featured image. What that'll do is, if you have the type of site or a theme that on the front home page will display certain featured images, or maybe you have a slider or some other type of visual media scroller that's on your main page, setting the featured image will help it to know what images should display alongside of an excerpt or a portion of the text from that particular article. In our case, we want to make an excerpt, so I'm just going to copy this first paragraph here, and I just put Control C and then Control V to paste that. You could also write an excerpt of your own if you wanted to. And the final thing that you have is you can allow comments and trackbacks, or if you don't want comments on this, you could just simply unclick that. In our case, we want comments. We want people to talk to us or ask us questions if they have questions. So that's pretty much it in terms of how to create a post. The final thing that you need to decide is, let's say I'm not done. Maybe I want to save this as a draft. So I can click Save Draft. After that draft is done saving, one of the things I usually like to do before I actually publish any post is go ahead and preview that. So I'm just going to right click on preview and go ahead and have it open in a new tab. So here's our preview of what this post is going to look like. And again, this is just a very, very basic default template or a theme that comes on WordPress. Of course, you can have a theme that's more interesting than this if you want to, but this is just a very, very basic one. And so we see now that our post that we put on, all about the willow tree, is here. Our sections are properly sectioned off with our subheadings in there, and everything looks great. And in addition to that, we could also add a comment if we were a person just coming to the site to read our post. Now, I'm back at the screen. Just as a final note, I'm back at the screen where we want to go ahead and publish our post. We can publish it immediately if we want to, or we can choose a specific date or time to publish it. In our case, we want to publish it immediately. We go ahead and click Published. Once we see that it has saved, and you'll get a link here that says View Post. Again, when we click on that, we'll get the same thing that we got before. It'll show us what our website looks like now with the post on it. And again, it looks pretty identical to what we saw when we looked at the preview. So if you have any questions about how to create a post, you can feel free to go ahead and email us or visit our website, which is www.pearsoncommunications.com, and we'd be happy to answer any questions that you have, or even create a tutorial if there's something that you want to know how to do on your WordPress 3.0 website or blog. So again, this is Cherie Pearson thanking you for joining me for the tutorial on how to create a post in WordPress 3.0. Thanks, and have a great day.